Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
My name is Sharon Tuggle, and I live in Sedona, Arizona, and I'm the CEO and founder of 5 Element Food Therapy. And so we make food for dogs and cats based in traditional Chinese medicine.
That's really cool, and I think that's very unique. So I guess I'm curious, what exactly gave you this idea to start this business?
Well, it was quite happenstance. I just had a wonderful dog, a little boxer Rottweiler, and we were at the dog park one day and she had a seizure. I took her to the vet thinking nothing of it, and she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And so I was absolutely devastated, and I just wanted her to be comfortable. They said she might live for 60 days, and it was just shocking. So I had a friend who was a holistic vet, and I wanted her to give my dog, her name was Hoochie, acupuncture. And I invited her over, and she recommended food therapy, which was, she had Chinese herbs, and then she recommended a combination of fresh food and fresh vegetables. And I added that to Hoochie's diet every single day, and I did it for 9 months. And so I just knew there was something to it. I knew that we really can use food as medicine. That was kind of the moment.
That's awesome. But I guess it's one thing that you use something for your dog and you see very good results. What made you actually want to dive into this and start a business?
Well, at the time, I called my wise old grandmother, and she was a lively 104 at the time. And so I said, "Granny, what'd you feed your dog back in 1920?" And she said, "We just fed him from the table." And so I started researching pet food. Why do we feed our dogs kibble, when they've been domesticated for so long? And, kibble's only been around since about 1930. And what happened here? And so I just wanted to find a better way to, feed our dogs, to supplement their meals. I mean, it's a bit sometimes cost prohibitive to feed them all fresh food, but there's a way that we can get them some nutrient dense whole foods and not break the bank. And I just wanted to, make pets feel better. I saw it, firsthand myself. And my grandmother, who lived to be 109, always said, eat good food was the first thing she said when people ask, how'd you get to be so old? And she'd end with mind your own business, but she started with eat good food, so it worked for her.
Well, I guess I'm curious, right? Because it's one, it's one thing to make this food in your kitchen for your dog, but in terms of actually going and manufacturing it, mass producing, what did that process look like for you in the very beginning?
Well, contrary to popular belief, you actually can't make, at least in the state of California, pet food in your kitchen. So you have to use, you have to be in a commercial kitchen. So I worked in a commercial kitchen with, a lot of caterers, and because it's human grade, and it's just the same food that they would make and eat. So I really just started it on my own. And at the time, my partner and I, we had a doggy daycare, and we had about 250 dogs a day and about 50 employees. And so I had fertile testing ground for all these dogs would come in, and I would say to their pet parents, can I try this on your dog for allergies or digestion? And I got some pretty good results. So that was kind of my focus group. And then I started a website, and initially it was kind of a labor of love. I did everything myself. I made the food, I delivered, I packaged, I bottled. I was a one-man show until I ended up having hand surgery because we were in jars. And so I ended up with a trigger finger, and I thought this isn't going to work much longer. So I hired some really wonderful employees and opened a retail location and really kind of made a push for getting out there into the world.
Awesome. So in terms of your business today, is it mostly selling for that retail location? Is it D2C commerce, Amazon, other retailers? What does that look like for you in terms of channels?
In terms of channels, we just actually about a month ago closed our retail location. So we're D2C, and then we're looking to get into some to find a distributor so we can get into independent pet stores. Also working on Amazon as well as Chewy, but those platforms they're really difficult to maneuver and to traverse, but hopefully we'll get there eventually.
So what made you want to close the store? Was it just not make sense to keep it open? Or I guess what was your decision there?
Well, a couple of pivots. So it's in Oakland, California, and there's just the traffic had been reduced in the area that we were in. And We also, it's a fresh frozen product. And 7 years ago, there were just a handful of us in that space. And now everyone's kind of jumped into the topper market because, it's kind of makes sense for a lot of pet parents. So with that, we were running about 5 different refrigeration units and just costing an absolute fortune. So we pivoted away from making the product for pet parents to a shelf stable kind of DIY. We put everything together. You just kind of add the protein, and so that didn't require having a store and even our commercial kitchen used as much. So yeah, it's been a big shift. It's been one that we've had a lot of really unhappy customers, but we're trying to get them to just figure out a way to do it themselves.
So have you, entered retailers in California or across the country, or is it really just as of now, like 100% D2C?
It's 100% D2C, but we're making a push to get into those. Since we literally just launched the product at the end of April, it's very new. And so we're sending out samples to lots of retail locations and also to holistic vets. We sponsored a lunch and learn last year, and we had about 500 vets interested in our product, but it was just cost prohibitive to send all of them, perishable items. So now we're getting that product in the hands of vets and hoping we can get some traction.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think especially like, for these vets, if they're able to give these products to their animals that they're treating it, so there's lots of value there. So in terms of D2C and like scaling your business, like how do you measure customer lifetime value for the customers that do buy from you?
So it's difficult to measure now with the new product, but I can tell you at our retail location, we have a 72% customer return rate. So once people try our products, they love it because it works. Honestly, food is medicine. And if you feed your pets better, they'll feel better. And that's just the bottom line. Give them real food. And so people saw results. And every day I get pet parents that say, you literally saved my dog's life, or their life is extended because of my food. And, it's a wonderful but bitter pill to swallow as we pivot away from what we were doing to a different model. But how we measure it is by, is the response we get from pet parents, the gratitude, and we know that we're making a difference in pets' lives.
That's amazing. So in terms of pets, right, like you mentioned dogs, are there specific dogs that it works better with, or specific, animals besides dogs that it works for? Like, what does that look like for you?
So it's for dogs and cats. So it's very interesting when I have this conversation about food. I live in Sedona, and so I see coyotes every single day. And in my store, if I had $1 for every time someone said their dog or cat had a sensitive stomach or allergies, these coyotes aren't vomiting. They're not, limping. They don't have diarrhea. They're eating rabbits, and they're grazing on grasses and blueberries and juniper berries, and they're eating well. I have deer and javelina, these strange looking creatures in my backyard all the time. And none of them are obese, and so nature knows how to feed itself. And so this is for dogs and cats, but it's human grade. I eat it too. And so, it's just food. And if we feed foods that help our organs function better, which is how this is designed, then it helps all living beings feel better.
So you're saying hypothetically that other animals besides dogs and cats could potentially get value from your product, but it's like that's been your focus because, well, most pets in America are dogs and cats.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. So obviously, like you mentioned, right, with this pivot in your business, but I guess like, now we're about halfway into 2024. So for the rest of this year to be successful for you, like what are some of your biggest goals and objectives for this year?
Well, ideally, we'd like to find, some sort of strategic partner. We are a supplement, so we're not a complete and balanced meal. And so ideally, even partnering with a kibble company, a fresh food company, we go on, it doesn't matter what you're feeding your pet, if it's raw, fresh, or kibble, we're really a complement to that. Getting in distribution, it's been, people don't return your phone calls, and so just trying to get some, awareness and getting out there into the pet ecosystem, that this is a wonderful alternative for, from the $400 fresh pet, market. You can still feed your pet well with a supplement that will make a real difference in their lives. So for us, we're just trying to get out in front of people, and we haven't done any marketing. It's all been organic, which, it's been a problem. So trying to get like on social media and trying to get out in front of pet parents and, that's
For sure. So I guess like what is your strategy? I mean, I guess like what are you thinking? Like is it more so like influencer partnerships, like running ads, like building community on Facebook groups, things like that? Like what have you kind of like thought about or even tried so far with this new product?
So I have a person, one of my teammates who actually does the marketing, we're kind of is getting into that, but all of the before mentioned, finding an influencer, we don't have these large budgets, so just hopefully, doing either some kind of trade with, a pet that really realizes the benefit. And so people can speak to that benefit. And then also social media, we're doing sort of educational pieces right now about, it's oftentimes a little bit of a heavy lift when you say traditional Chinese medicine, people kind of cross-eye, like what, so trying to get that narrative that it's really just using, food as medicine, getting your pets off of the medical merry-go-round and making them function better. So we're just, really using social media to get that narrative out there.
Hey y'all, it's Dan Melnick, the CEO of Zing, and I wanted to share a special offer for all of our listeners. Right now, if you need software development services, we'll give you 2 weeks of a free trial. Do you need to update your website? Do you want to build a mobile app? Do you want to update something that you've been working on for a long time? We've worked in a high-level technologies like AI, machine learning, blockchain. So shoot me a text, 817-874-2208. Thank you.
For sure. But in terms of social media, is it more so like this long form content, like you or someone else speaking and explaining like the product, or is it more so like LinkedIn posts? Like what does that, sort of look like so far for your brand?
So far, we've done some, speaking about, the educational part. And then also we've had some pet parents that here's our new topper kit. So just showing how it's the application of the new process. And then we were part of an accelerator out of Austin, Texas last year out of SKU. And so we're going to be doing some kind of cross promotion with them. And we also collaborate with like Innovative Pet Labs and some other companies that we have we could benefit their product, or we can benefit the pets from,
Yeah, SKU is great. I mean, I've heard great things about them.
They're really wonderful.
So, obviously now many brands use things like AI. So do you guys currently use AI? And if not, where do you think maybe it could add value for your business?
We're a bit prehistoric. And so we're really just trying to figure all this out. And it would really be great. We're not that nimble. We don't use AI probably as we should. And so it would really be great to, bring someone on board that could traverse us through this, really kind of murky water and this kind of like, new age sort of thing. But I'm sure we would benefit from it. We just don't know how to apply it and how it would be most useful. If you know anyone that could help us, send them our way.
Well, we work in AI, so we can talk more about it later. Yeah, I mean, AI is interesting because like I'm working on some like AI chat products, customer service products. So I'm always like curious about what people are thinking about AI, because like there's so many possibilities out there, and some people use it every day, some people never use it at all. So it's kind of like figuring out how to add as much value with it. But I guess I'm curious, right? So like you've been doing this for some time. So what would you say is the biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you started this business?
I wish I would have had a really good advisor, because I just kept, let me try this and then I'll try that. And, and this didn't work out. And, when you're just doing it on your own, it's very difficult to know, the best path. And you also don't know, but like you get no return on your investment. And how do you decide what to do with the money that you have? And then I probably would have pivoted sooner had I had, I don't know, just an advisor, just, someone I could really trust, because, it was just a difficult solo journey for a very long time.
Were you running like the other business along with this business for some time? Or I guess like when did you kind of move from that business into this product business?
Yeah, so probably about after COVID was my partner, so we ended up separating, and so and ultimately divorcing. So that was easy to get out of that one. So that was probably about 4 years ago.
Okay, it's like after that, about 4 years ago, when you went full time into this product business.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. So if we're going to have this conversation again in 1 year from now, where do you see things going for your business?
Well, I tell you, I use this analogy a lot. This is a Hail Mary. I'm overtime in the Super Bowl, and I don't know if I'm the 49ers or the Chiefs at this point, so I really can't tell you. My hope, I'm a Sagittarian and an eternal optimist. I really hope and I believe, because there's a true benefit to my product. There's scientific research about it, and there's a ton of testimonials. So my hope is that we get some traction, that people really see the benefit of it, see how it's cost approachable for so many people, and it's so great for your pets. So what I'd like to say, and what my hope and what my optimist is going to say to you is that we have a lot of traction. We're able to scale. We've moved our production to, for some reason I'm attracted to Topeka, Kansas. So we've moved our production out there, and and then we're in about 2,000 stores. It's an easy product to put on shelf, and it's an easy product for people to use. So that is when we meet this time next year, I'll be saying that to you.
For sure, yeah. And if you're ever in Austin, let me know. I mean, Kansas is like, centrally located, so it's a good place.
Yeah.
If somebody watching this wanted to reach out, do you mind sharing your website or social media? I guess best ways to get in contact.
Sure. I mean, our website is it's 5 Element Food Therapy, and it's the number 5. Our Instagram is the same. Facebook is the same, and or you can call me. 510-710-0220. I am customer service.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Well, Sharon, we're rooting for you, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dan. I really appreciate this
Thanks.
opportunity. All right.
All right,
Take
bye.
care. Bye.